Would you rather go to the dentist or talk about insurance?
I would rather go to the dentist because
I love my dentist. I would much rather get my teeth. I love getting my teeth cleaned, but you know what? Insurance is a fact of life, and we do have to talk about it.
it is that time of year. It's that time of year when you've got to make those decisions for the insurance for the next year, for your health insurance for the next year.
Americans do.
Americans, yeah. And it's a tough decision. Before we get started, though, I'm Steve, and this is Chris. We are EatWalkLearn. We have been traveling all around the world full time for more than 4.5 years now. And being in November, we are in that open enrollment period, and we are like, we got to get insurance. What are we going to do?
I'm going to take a drink of water. my nice Greek orange. And
I know it's really stressful. Mm-hmm. What's I think most stressful is that there's so much information out there. There's a lot of disinformation out there, and our needs are really unique.
Yeah. So full-time travel, it is not for the weak, especially when it comes to insurance, because if you're in the US and you have been figuring out your insurance your whole life, it's pretty simple. You go look at the plans, you kind of look at the benefits and the cost, and you pick one. You don't really worry necessarily about coverage and where it works and where it doesn't work. But as nomads, these are the big questions of trying to figure out travel insurance. So over the last 5 years, surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, every year we've had to make a different decision about our insurance. So we're just going to quickly run through the first 4 years. It will take us 2 minutes just so we can set up where we are for the 5th year. Okay? But you know what? First of all, let's just do some definitions.
Okay, let's talk about what kind of insurance we're talking about.
We're talking about global medical insurance, which is different than travel insurance.
Right. Now,
travel insurance is something a lot of us get. Our credit cards often cover it as well. This is, your trip gets delayed, you lose your bag, your flight gets redirected, you pick up an extra expense somewhere. That's travel insurance. A lot of people buy travel insurance. We use our credit card, the Chase Sapphire Preferred. Please view our link down below to get it. And it covers us for delays and cancellations and that type of thing. Now, there's also travel insurance with medical. So some travel insurance policies have a medical contingency on them so that if you are abroad in Aruba and you get hit by a boat, you can get coverage with your travel insurance with medical coverage. Now, this is often secondary to your insurance that you might have at home. The idea is that you get stabilized, they send you back to the U.S., and you finish your care in the U.S.
Yeah, it also might include like kind of a repatriation insurance if for some reason something really bad happens to you. And you need to have your remains sent back to the United States. We don't talk about that, but this is the kind of thing that insurance companies, they build a little bit of fear in you.
Fear?
Fear?
Do insurance companies do that?
You need this insurance.
Okay. So we're looking for global medical insurance that covers us because we're not someone that has a medical policy at home. Now, we're going to go in through that very detailed in just a minute. And by the way, are you an insurance agent?
Oh, disclaimer. We are not insurance agents. We are not insurance professionals. We are giving you our experience based on our personal experience and nothing more. Please consult an insurance professional for detailed answers.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to go really fast through 4 years. Okay, so the first year we lost our insurance because Steve retired. We did not have any insurance in the U.S. Because we couldn't afford ACA or Obamacare because it was way too expensive. So we didn't have insurance in the U.S. We had IMG Global for our first year and our second year of travel. IMG covered us around the world. And our second year, I filed a claim against them, and they repaid the majority of it. If you want details about any of this and the cost, you can go to my blog post that accompanies this particular video. In the third year, finally, we qualified for ACA. We got, quote, free ACA, also known as Obamacare, that covered us in the U.S. It had a catastrophic policy in case we got hit by a bus somewhere in the world. The example of that, it would cover us. We never had to file a claim on that. But because our deductible was $10,000 per person, we picked up Genki insurance. Now, Genki insurance covers us worldwide, except in the U.S. It has a €50 copay on a doctor visit per occurrence. So if you have to go to the doctor 5 times for an eye, it's €50. Not €50 5 times, just €50 for the occurrence. So that was fantastic. We loved Genki, made several claims against it. They paid with no questions whatsoever, and it was fantastic. By the way, if you see differences in the numbers we're saying today on the video versus what we have printed somewhere else, that's just a difference in the US Euro exchange rate. So if we say 60 here and 55 there, just go look at the websites or whatever to get the current actual rates that are being given to you, probably in euro.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. The fourth year, no. What I just told you was the fourth year. The third year, we were half a time in the US and half a time in Australia. So we had ACA our third year, and then went for 6 months, and then we went to Australia for 6 months. And you can get trip insurance for one trip for 6 months, which is what Australia qualified us as. So we did get a trip insurance with medical that covered us in Australia. We got that through GeoBlue. In our third year, our fourth year, we did the Genki thing.
Right.
Okay. Now, it's our fifth year, and some things have changed.
Yeah. So.
Wait, is that white hair, honey?
Wait here. I wish I had a little bit of white hair because no.
No, you're very handsome. I mean, if you got white hair, you would look older.
Okay,
when you grow your beard in, you look older because there's white hair in that.
Gray in my beard. But truth is, I'm 65, and I went on Medicare this year, and I had to choose a plan that was in April up until now, and now I'm looking at again. I'm the first time that I'm in the open enrollment for Medicare, and there are a few things that I'm looking for. And before we get too deep into what I'm doing, what Chris is doing is really interesting because the plan that we found for Europe for Schengen insurance is pretty unique
and global. And global
is something that took us a long time to find.
Yeah, and I'm 58. I'll be 59 in December, so wish me happy birthday, December 30th. If you want to just send me a little message, it's my birthday. Anyway, so these numbers are based on being 59, although I am currently 58. I'll be 59 Correct. At the activation of these insurances because they activate on January 1st.
Yes.
Okay.
So 65 years old, open enrollment for Medicare, and I'm looking for a couple of really specific things. One is I want something that it's going to cover me internationally in an emergency situation. So emergency happens, I need to get stabilized. Is there a plan, a US plan, a Medicare plan that will cover me in that situation? Second is I want low premiums because I think Part B is going to be $207 or something close to that per month, and whether you use it or not, you got to pay for it. And the whole idea of, well, I'm just not going to accept the Part B, and I'm just going to get the waiver or whatever. I don't want to deal with all of the penalties in the future. So I'm going to make sure that I have fully covered under Medicare.
Can I interrupt you for just a second?
Yes.
Okay. So for all of you who are like, your eyes are rolling in the back of your head because you're not Americans and you're not interested in Medicare, or you're not old enough for Medicare or whatever, the solution I'm going to tell you about, as soon as Steve tells you all those wonderful things about Medicare, not only covers Americans, but it covers anybody traveling. So hang on. You may continue, my love.
Yes, thank you. And the third thing is that I wanted to make sure that there was a network of doctors when I'm in the United States, because we are planning on being in or near the United States for a significant part of this year. So I want to make sure that I can visit doctors and I can get the care that I need and get some of my prescriptions refilled and things like that. So what I found, and by the way, I'm a Texas resident, what I found was an Advantage plan from Wellcare, a Giveback plan. And what that does is it does three important things, like I just mentioned. It reduces my premiums from $207 to $98 per month.
American insurance is so wackadoodle nutso. I mean, how do you explain to someone that doesn't deal with American insurance and it pays this, but then they give me back money? Why do they call it a give back? Why don't they just tell you what it costs?
It's a give back program. Look for it. I know if you're in a different state, still look for it. It's an Advantage plan. It is an HMO, and I'm going to say I don't want to deal with an HMO. But listen, I'm not going to be in the United States for that long. So, three things. I've got the network, I've got the lower premiums, and I'm covered in an emergency outside the United States. So I could go into a lot more detail about my decision process But that's the plan that I chose through Wellcare in Texas.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
thank you. Anyway. Okay, moving on. Okay, so up to now, I have had Obamacare. It's been great because our income of being, $50,000 or less each year has not automatically, but has generated, quote, free Obamacare, which has been fantastic. Well, the big, beautiful bill came along this year, and it has eliminated my subsidies and has made my Obamacare be about $250 a month. Now, any American would say $250 a month for insurance, that's amazing, that's incredible. Yeah, like, why aren't you doing that? And now I'm going to tell you why. For me, we're only going to be in the US next year, probably about 6 to 8 weeks max. And the Obama, like Steve, I'm also a Texas resident, and my Obamacare only covers me in Texas. I can only use it in Texas. And it has a $10,000 deductible. So the chances of me using it for the 6 weeks that I would use it, and we're not even going to Texas and having to go to Texas to pay for a year policy at $250 a month for something that I'm not going to use in a 6-week period that I'm not in Texas.
Right.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, it's about that risk. It's like, you just got to make some compromises and adjust based on the risk.
0 to 200 is 20,000% increase. If I were a politician, I'd be saying, I had a 20,000% increase in my insurance this year.
2 million% increase.
Anyway, so what am I doing? So I found a policy with Mondial. They have a global policy. We'll put links down below. It costs me about $1,400 a year.
Wait, so tell me about this company, because I never heard of this company, Mondial.
They're out of France, and they have various policies. They have a global policy. They have a Schengen policy. They have student policies. They have a couple other policies. What is interesting to us is that there's a global policy and a Schengen policy. So I will pick up their global policy when I leave Schengen, which would be probably next April, and I'll go on their global policy, which covers me around the world. Now, they have 2 levels of the global policy. One level is I think it's $109 a month. No. Yeah, it's $109 a month globally, but does not include the US, and it's $200 a month globally and includes the US and Canada. The good thing is...
Yeah, again, your situation is going to vary.
Right.
Don't take these numbers and say, well, mine didn't come up. For me.
That's for me, being a 59-year-old. And
in her specific example.
Right. And so what I plan on doing is, for the months that I'm in the US or Canada, I'll buy the $250 policy. And when I'm not, I'll buy the $100 policy, because you can buy it monthly. If you buy it annually, it's cheaper. But for us next year, because we've got some strange traveling going on, I'm going to go monthly for 4 or 5 months so I can take advantage of the actual coverage for the actual countries that I'm in that period of time. And then once we kind of stabilize again next year with our plans, I'll go back to the global policy without US coverage.
Yeah.
Wow.
It sounds pretty simple. But again, this took a lot of research, because we told you about 4 or 5 different insurance companies that we've done business with in the last 4 or 5 years, and have been satisfied with the service and the results of that. A lot of, I think, insurance plans, the prices have gone way up. So I looked at like Genki and IMG, and both, again, in our situations, the prices were double what they were just a couple of years ago.
That's true.
And it's like, and we're older, so that's part of it. So
I think it's more that we're getting older and we're getting into the after 55 and after 60 and after 65 numbers more than anything that's making our insurance go up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's continue to do the research that we've done and investigate and identify companies that have a good reputation and have a really affordable premiums.
Yeah, so just a tip for you Americans that are spending a lot of time in the Schengen zone. So most of you followers know what Schengen is. Basically, Schengen is the EU, more or less a couple countries. Just put it in your head that it's Europe. And Mondial has a annual Schengen policy for about $400 a year per person. So Steve and I got the Schengen policy for our time that we're going to be in Europe for $800 or euro, I think it was. So $900, somewhere $800 or $900.
No, it was $800.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it covers us in Schengen. So all of Europe, we're covered. So if you are an American traveler who needs coverage around the world, but you're only going to be in Schengen, look at Mondial's policy. And again, please read the fine print. You'll see the minimums, you'll see the deductibles, you'll see whatever. Mondial works like Genki in that they have the $50 or €50 copay on visits or on conditions as well. So we have not filed any claims on Mondial yet. We have on Genki again. Genki's been fantastic. But Mondial is our go-to for this year. Who knows what will happen next year? But anyway, that's our big tip for people. Mondial, link in the description. If you have any questions, please put them below. What are you doing for insurance? What are you confused about? Why is it hard? Why is it easy? Have you filed any claims with anybody and had any good experiences or bad experiences that you want to share with us? We really want to hear it because we will share it out if we find something new and different and interesting. We love talking to you guys. We love your feedback, and thanks for being such big fans. Talk to you next week.